NDDC House of Shame. The scandalous revelations of a rickety anti-corruption campaign. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led government is facing its toughest image crisis since coming into office 5 years ago, as the administration's anti-corruption claims is suffering a monumental integrity question, as key government officials seem not to have been in tune with the anti-corruption drive of the government. As morbid financial sleaze oozing out of the creeks of the Niger Delta is bringing into disrepute its claim of fighting corruption anywhere else in the country. The financial fiasco at NDDC now seems to be dwarfing the Magu Malami debacle as the House of Reps turns its searchlight into the hideous underworld of the alleged 81 billion NDDC corruption scandal. Hi, this is News Rendezvous TV. If this is your first time of being on our channel, kindly support us by subscribing to this channel. You can also like, share, and click this very particular story, and so that you can be the first to know whenever we release a new story. The NDDC has turned itself into a house of shame, as its activities is definitely not posting a positive review of the Buhari's anti-corruption drive. The ongoing probe of the Commission's activities has continued to unravel myriads of appalling corruption baggages, suggestive of a sustained regime of corruption under Buhari's watch. While being quizzed, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Apkabio, revealed that several lawmakers have been the beneficiaries of the Commission's contracts, thereby indicting the National Assembly into the vortex of the ongoing scam at the Commission. In view of the heavy dust of corruption dirt Apkabio raised as a result of his comments on the floor of the House, Nigeria's House of Representatives slammed a 48 hours deadline on the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to name National Assembly members benefiting from the contracts awarded by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, after the embattled minister mentioned that National Assembly members were part of the problem of the Niger Delta. The House of Reps Committee probing the financial dealings and contracts in the NDDC specifically asked Apkabio to give names, contracts, dates, and amount of contracts awarded to members of the 9th National Assembly. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, insists that Apkabio must reveal the names of the lawmakers within 48 hours or risk the wrath of the House. Femi Gbajabiamila said, the minister owes it to himself, to the committee, to the people of Niger Delta, and to the country to publish it. Although Apkabio had later backtracked on that position by claiming that he was misquoted and even denied awarding a single contract since he assumed office. He said, and I quote, "I have never approved a single contract, not even 1 kilometer for the NDDC. Most of the contracts in NDDC are given out to the members of the National Assembly. If you don't know, please ask the two chairmen." Sequel to the 48 hours ultimatum placed on him by the House of Representatives to publish names of the beneficiaries of the NDDC contracts, Godswill Apkabio has dropped a bombshell and released the names of some of the members of the National Assembly involved in the scandalous drama in the Niger Delta. According to some media reports, about 30 senators and members of the House of Representatives have been the beneficiaries of NDDC contracts. But surprisingly, when Gbajabiamila read Apkabio's letter on the floor of the House on Thursday, he did not mention that there was a list of contract beneficiaries attached to the letter. According to some sources, Peter Nwambushi, Senate Committee Chairman on NDDC, Matthew Urogide, Senate Committee Chairman on Public Accounts, and James Manager, Senator representing Delta South, were reportedly listed as beneficiaries. Sam Anyanwu, a former senator representing Imo East, Nicholas Mutu, a lawmaker from Delta who chaired the House NDDC committee in the last assembly. While Nwambushi's name was allegedly tied to 53 projects, Mutu was said to have received 74 contracts. Urogide, Manager, and Anyanwu were said to have received a combined total of 31 contracts. However, there were no costs attached to the contract said to have been awarded to these legislators as was demanded by the House of Representatives. President Muhammadu Buhari had in a statement tweeted that he would get to the end of this very particular matter. President Muhammadu Buhari said, "I am determined to get to the root of the problem undermining development of the Niger Delta, in spite of the enormous national resources dedicated to these annually. This administration remains committed to bringing rapid, even and sustainable development to the region." The financial escapades of the Commission has become a subject of notoriety on the social media, as the internet is awash with some ridiculous details of financial dealings at the Commission that zooms beyond any level of believability. It seems to me that the end might have come for the minister and former governor of Akwa Ibom State, but he seems determined not to go down alone with his indictment of members of the National Assembly. Although the actions of Godswill Apkabio seems like that of a drowning man desperately clutching at every straw, so we will not be surprised if this is not the end of it, and Nigerians should brace themselves for some more unsavory corruption drama. Buhari and his government are culpable in this matter because Godswill Apkabio, like Magu, is his appointment, and we should logically assume that a government that prides itself on anti-corruption war should recruit befitting generals to help it in its anti-corruption battles. The Niger Delta has been the subject of decades of neglect, despite being the source of the country's oil wealth. The establishment of the NDDC was designed to channel resources to the area in order to close the developmental gap that exists in the region as a result of decades of neglect. Our concern here as Nigerians will be that with all these cards coming out of the bag, are we still confident that this government is really fighting a war on corruption? Undoubtedly, this is blood money, made from the suffering, struggles, and misery of ordinary Niger Delta man in the creek. With our hands crossed and the drama still playing out, let's wait and see what comes out of this sordid corruption horror play. Who will be arrested? Who will go to jail? Who will resign? What's the punishment for legislators caught in the maze of corruption scandals like this? The action or inaction will tell us whether there is a prevailing war on corruption in the country. And I think it is apt that the Buhari-led government beams its searchlight on the Northeast Development Commission, where after years of devastation and carnage by the Boko Haram insurgents, it seems as if it is the terrorists that enjoys the benefits of reconstruction and development at the expense of destroyed communities in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe. Tell us what you think on this fiasco. Drop your comments on News Rendezvous TV in the comment section of our online news outlet so we know exactly what you think on this subject. Is the Buhari-led government really fighting corruption? Or is the NDDC probe a resolve of the government's crackdown on corruption and that no one will be spared? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our stories. And don't forget to drop your comments. It's our country, so we do have a say. If you have a vote, you have a voice. So let us know what you think. Have a blessed day.